Hello watch enthusiasts, my name is Josh and today we are going to be talking about how to find the perfect timepiece. Get it? Because my channel is named Perfect Timepiece? Yeah, well, if you're new, this is pretty customary to the channel. We have a lot of dad jokes, but let's get right on into today's topic. We are going to be talking about how to find the perfect watch for you. The first thing is you have to pick which type of watch that you really want, and this can be a little bit tricky, especially if you've never really been into watches, if you're new to the watch scene, and if you are new to the watch scene, thanks for stopping by. It can be really difficult to pinpoint exactly what type of watch you want. There are, I think, 5 major types, although obviously they're always coming out with new watches and kind of like, oh god, what's that name of the monster? Frankenstein. Yeah, they're always coming out with like Frankenstein watches that are kind of combinations of these main categories, but you are going to want to pick one of these main categories, and they are dress watches for your more classy gentlemen. I dressed up a little bit for this video, so I'm actually not even wearing a dress watch, but I'm wearing my diver. It's pretty nice. So we have dress watches, we have divers, as I just mentioned. These divers obviously are made for water resistance and diving. We have chronographs, which kind of fall into the racing category as well, but basically for non-watch people, these are watches that have the ability to time things like a stopwatch. So we have dress watches, chronographs, divers. What else do we have? Aviation pieces. I really want one of these. I do not have much experience, but they are usually known for their really incredible legibility. So if you want something that is more function than aesthetic, I would recommend looking at aviation pieces. And then I'm probably missing one big one. There's the vintage category. You could always kind of stick your head in there, although I wouldn't really recommend it for newer people. So on top of that, you also have to consider what your style is. Now, a lot of these watches, as I said, kind of mix a whole bunch of these elements together. You'll see kind of dive watches with field watch kind of style numerals, or you'll see, you know, watches of one type borrowing stylistic elements from another. So again, you are just going to have to go around and see, you know, do you like just regular indices? Do you like Roman numerals? If you like Roman numerals, you should probably look at dress watches because those are the types of watches that usually have Roman numerals. The second thing you should consider when trying to pick out your perfect watch is how much money you are willing to spend on the piece. And this may be very difficult for you to gauge. You may say, well, I have, you know, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 to spend on a watch, but if you're new, it can be very tricky to kind of figure out what exactly you want. So my suggestion to you, after you've kind of set your price range, is to go into a jewelry store or an authorized dealer, not to buy, do not buy on your first time in the store. What I want you to do is go into the store and actually try on pieces that are of these different categories. Pieces that are dress watches, pieces that are sports watches, divers, aviation pieces, whatever. And if you're not sure, you can ask the people who work there, although they'll probably try really hard to sell you on a watch if they know that you don't really know your stuff. So I would really urge you to do a little bit of research before going in there. But definitely do not buy. Just look and figure out what types of things you like. Look at the numbers on the dial, look at the indices on the dial, look at, oh, this has the chronograph, the stopwatch. I really like that. I can see myself wearing that every day. And this is a really big thing. If you are a person, the average person, and you're not a watch collector, you're not probably going to have more than one watch. or two, right? So you really want to make your money count in this regard, and you don't want to buy something that's $500 and be stuck with it for, you know, a year or however long it's going to take for you to re-get that money with something that you don't absolutely love. So look at all the pieces in an authorized dealer and see which elements you like. Now, one little mistake that I fell into when I first got into watches was I was really intrigued by a feature known as the exhibition caseback. If you are long-time watch people watching this video, you guys know what an exhibition caseback is, and you probably know what I'm about to say. It is a little bit of a trap. What the exhibition caseback does is it allows you to see the actual machinery and movement of the watch as it, you know, ticks along, so you can see the gears moving. And as an engineer, that's something that really, really appealed to me. But now I'm looking over at my watch collection. I have, I think, 5 or 6 pieces that have exhibition casebacks. And to be completely honest, sometimes that money can be better spent on other features of the watch. So definitely make sure when you go into an authorized dealer, don't just be wowed by an exhibition caseback. Think about, okay, well, this watch has an exhibition caseback, but it's still under $500. Like, where did they cut corners? Saying, you know, if something doesn't really feel right, the chances are if it was made by the actual manufacturer, if something is outstanding about the watch, there are usually drawbacks unless you're paying top dollar. So the third or fourth step, I kind of blended the last two together, is to go online and watch watch reviews for the types of watches that you really, really enjoy. Now, again, I advise you to do this after going into an authorized dealer because you can check out the types of pieces that you like, and then you can look at reviews afterward. If you start off by looking at reviews, it can be a little bit overwhelming because you don't know what different design elements you want on the watch. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my watch because it's just so dang beautiful and the lighting is amazing. But yes, if you start off looking at YouTube videos or YouTube reviews or anywhere else, I don't know where else you would get watch reviews on the internet, but I may be surprised. You can get completely inundated with information and you can kind of just sit there for a while. I know that that's kind of what I did, and then I kind of just decided, okay, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of dress watches. And I learned my lesson from that. I realized that I want to experiment more with divers and some chronographs and some other different types of pieces. But again, using these reviews, you can refine your tastes and you can even become more of an informed buyer. So the last step in this guide is actually going out and buying the watch. Now, when I say going out, I do not mean necessarily going to an authorized dealer. What you should do is you should go look up what the watch is worth, how much it's selling for used, and if you don't know how to even find that information, you should check our How to Buy Used video right over here somewhere. But basically, you should figure out what the watch is actually worth, and then you should go into an authorized dealer and try to bargain or barter with them. Not barter. Would you like a chicken for a watch? No. But you should go into the authorized dealer, try to get a fair price, and if you can't, you should go to a reputable jeweler and try to buy off of him. Now, this can be tricky and you can get burned on it, so if you are spending a large amount of money, I would probably just suggest for you to go to an authorized dealer. So one quick message before we end this video, I have actually set up a Patreon for my channel. Now, if you have no idea what the sentence that just came out of my mouth meant, what it means is that Patreon is a crowdfunding website. Basically, you can set up monthly contributions to support the channel, help pay for things like a new microphone, because I'm kind of tired of using this, things like light boxes, shipping and handling on watches that I review, all of this stuff, and it'll help make the channel more sustainable, and it'll help me to create better content for you guys. So if you are a long-time fan of the channel, I would really appreciate it if you checked out the Patreon, and if you can afford to make a contribution, I would really appreciate that. If you can't, no worries. The content is still going to come to you. It's just a matter of me trying to make it better. But I hope the video was informative or entertaining. My name is Josh. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.